Guys, welcome to another video. My name's Parham. I'm an entrepreneur and property investor, and I've been looking forward to doing this video for quite some time. It is 5 things that I believe, the habits that have made me a millionaire. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're just going to hear, I've got multiple streams of income. Look, I asked myself the same question. I asked myself, why have I got multiple streams of income? So I'm getting beneath the reasons, okay? So I've gone a bit deeper, a level down if you like. But before we get into the video, if you could possibly give it a big like, massively appreciate that. Helps me out the algorithm. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. We're going to give away a house. There's no better reason to subscribe than being given a house. So let's get into the video and let's go through the 5 things that I ultimately believe have made me the multimillionaire I am today. So my first thing that I believe has gone a long way to making me into the multimillionaire I am today is that I'm a lifelong learner. I'm fully committed to this. Now that means I go and seek out people who've got information that I don't have, and I'm very quick to implement it. It's not just about the learning, it's also about the implementation. I am one of the fastest people to say, I understand the principle, I understand what you're showing, it makes perfect sense, it fits into my vision, bang, let's do this. So I believe that being a lifelong learner, seeking out information and finding people who can help you on your journey is key to being successful. And that's my number 1 tip, and I would urge everybody to commit to learning for the whole of life. So you remember at the beginning of the video I said that yes, I've got multiple streams of income. All of these things are true, but the practical steps behind that, I was trying to understand why I have got myself into that position. And I think this is key. I practice visualization regularly. I can tell you exactly what my life looks like in 5, 10 years. I can tell you all the small steps I need to make in order to get there. And I think it's because I have this big picture in mind, I'm always able to commit to the goals. And the next phase is going to be goal setting. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But because I have this big picture vision, it makes it so real. It makes it so easy. And yes, I get up early in the morning, but that's not one of my 5 reasons. That is a result of this visualization. That if you knew where I was going, you'd be up early as well, right? So that is literally, I think, the key to being able to commit to everything else. Knowing where you're going, having a visualization tool that's so strong that it's pulling you towards your destination. And for me, that's key. So guys, I alluded to it in the last segment, setting goals is key. And for me, the 3rd tip I have is that setting goals is going to help you on your journey. For me, I set super measurable, super achievable, super targeted goals that are going to get me to where I want to do. Always bearing in mind this big visualization that I have of where I'm going to be. Now let me loop that back to why I say super achievable. Now if, for example, today I decided I wanted to be, a professional football player, the chances of that as a late 30s guy who's a little bit overweight is pretty slim, I would say. But if I had a passion for football, and that's the reason that I wanted to get involved in that, then I could maybe go down the coaching route or something else that would allow me an entrance into that industry and allow me to achieve what I wanted to achieve. The end goal being somewhere over here. Now, obviously from my perspective, I think that if we loop this back to YouTube, which is where you're obviously finding my content, then we can talk about, I set myself a target to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. Now, I smashed that target, and the reason I smashed it was I took super achievable bite-sized chunks of time, and I went, okay, well, I want to get to here, and then this will happen, and here, and then this will happen. And I created a plan that would allow me to achieve those goals. So I would say to you, set yourself super measurable goals that you know you can achieve that will get you to your end destination, and that will help you achieve everything you want to achieve. So guys, we've spoken about committing to lifelong learning, we've spoken about visualization, we've spoken about setting goals. My 4th point is that I always commit to growth. And what do I mean by that? People quite often ask me, where do you get the motivation to keep going? And it's because as a human, we have this need to grow. So for me, I have a real strong passion and a commitment for me to constantly be growing. And that feeds back into setting appropriate goals, it feeds back into committing to lifelong learning, and it feeds back into the visualization, because the visualization gets bigger and bigger and bigger as I commit to more and more growth. So I would urge you to not fixate on a fixed point in time when everything finishes for you. I want you to commit to growing that point of reference at all points in time. So guys, the final thing on my list of 5 traits that I believe have helped me become a multimillionaire is to be a decent and kind individual. I think the adage of treat people how you wish to be treated is so true. And I feel that every time that I've gone out of my way to help people, I have been rewarded, not always instantly and not always by that individual, but the universe, fate, whatever you want to call it, has always come round and made sure that I've been okay. So I would urge you to always come at things from the right place. I've seen people take on endeavours with the wrong intentions, and quite often something happens. It might not be linked in any way to that endeavour, but something happens that throws them off course. If you come at everything with the right intentions, then the world, I believe, opens up and the universe just gives you what you deserve. So guys, those are my 5 things that I believe help me become successful, or what others might deem to be successful. What are your ideas? What thoughts have you got? What traits do you think help people get to where you want to get to? So for me, those would be my 5 points, but I do understand that I have underlying things as a result of that, such as I do get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning. I wake up naturally at that time. I'm so excited about my day. I plan my day incessantly. I make sure I know what I'm doing. I have lots of these traits that other people talk about, but I believe it all feeds back to the fact that I have a growth mindset. I have a thirst for learning. I set ambitious goals. I have strong visualization. In fact, I've got a board behind me with some visualizations on there. And I also am always treating people the way that I wish to be treated. So that's my tips. I hope you found this video useful. A bit of an insight into my mind. And this has been Mentoring Monday. I will see you again on Wednesday.